We started back in October looking at potential rezoning lines, and some of the things that we started with is we said, all right, what are going to be our guiding principles? What are we going to look at as we do this? What are our goals? And so we said, well, first of all, obviously, we've got to relocate the College Street students. We wanted to have contiguous zone lines as much as possible. So we didn't want to have zone lines where we took a group from one area of the city and moved them across the city to another zone line. So we also wanted to align enrollments with school capacities so we have a better utilization factor of each of our schools, looking at the total capacity of the school and then the number of students that attended there. An ideal capacity is about 80 to 85%, because up to 90%, because you still have room for computer labs and to have space to move into. We wanted to keep neighborhoods together. We wanted to balance the socioeconomics across the elementary schools to the extent possible. We wanted to limit the number of students affected by the rezoning process. Obviously, all the College Street students would be affected, but we wanted to limit the number of other students who would be affected. We wanted to use defined roads as zone borders so that it wouldn't be you follow this creek or it's, well, we pull this little group out here. We wanted to really use defined lines so that it would be very obvious if you drive down 84, you've got this or this. We wanted to reduce the bus transportation cost. And in doing so, we wanted to reduce the length of the school day for students. We do have students that arrive at school before 7 o'clock, and we have students that leave the school sometimes close to 4 o'clock. We have a very long day because of the transportation routes, and we wanted to look at how we could have feeder patterns for our middle schools, but try to reduce the length of time that the student is either riding on the bus or at the school, and teachers having to supervise before and after school for bus duty. We wanted to separate elementary from secondary bus routes, and we wanted to then rezone the middle school. So when we went to 2 middle schools, we wanted to try to equalize the socioeconomics and the capacity there. And then, as I said, we wanted to develop feeder patterns from the elementary to the middle school so that we could track growth of our students over time. I will say that it was a real balancing act. We knew it would be. We hired a demographer out of Atlanta, Dr. Steve Salmon. He has done demographic, and his team, he's done demographic studies all over the state of Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and has been doing this for a long time. We hired him. We wanted a third-party, objective person to take a look at this and say, what's the best ways to achieve our goals to the greatest extent possible. They came back with some plans. We looked at, we brought in transportation department, looked at how that would affect our transporting students, looked at all these different factors, tweaked the plans with them, tweaked them again, and again, we looked at the ease of transporting students. Where do we have to take long bus routes? How do we get them to the closest schools? We looked at many possible solutions. It is such a delicate balancing act, because you say, well, we really need this group of students to go to this school because it's closer, but when you do that, then you up your capacity here, you reduce your capacity, you throw off your socioeconomics. It's a real balancing act. But we settled on the best plan that met the guiding factors to the greatest degree. Our current zone, if you can see the screen, the current zone looks like this. The white is Hillcrest, the pink is Holly Hill, and you will see that we had 2 sections within the district that were not contiguous to Holly Hill. Heron Creek is the kind of bright lime green. Rucker Boulevard is the kind of mustard color, and then the blue at the bottom is the Pinedale zone. That's our current zoning map. Our proposed zoning map looks like this. You see that Hillcrest is essentially the same, except that they did get the closest College Street students to them. Pinedale absorbed many of the other College Street students. Obviously, if they absorb students, they've got to, some of them have to be moved out to make room. So you will see that the zoning for Pinedale has been pushed back. Rucker Boulevard is the yellow, and you will see that they've extended on the south side. Heron Creek is basically the same, and Holly Hill, the part at the top is basically the same. The problem that we ran into, which is kind of a unique situation with Holly Hill and Heron Creek, is that there are no roads from Holly Hill area to Heron Creek area. So that would be from Rucker Boulevard over to Sheffield Road. There's no roads that connect. So in order to move, say, Holly Hill students to Heron Creek, you've got to come all the way down, no matter where they are, you've got to come all the way down to the circle, go down, and then go all the way back up Rucker Boulevard to Heron Creek. So Heron Creek is in a unique situation, is that they are pretty well landlocked, because you've got two schools on that same road, and Rucker Boulevard, obviously you want students that are close to Rucker Boulevard to go to Rucker Boulevard. So short of busing students from the south of the district all the way to Rucker Boulevard, you pretty well have to keep Heron Creek as is. And so we extended Rucker Boulevard to the south. And then looking at our zone lines, as you know, at the last board meeting, the board approved for both Dauphin and Coffeyville to be 7th and 8th grade schools. Basically, our zone lines are north and south. We have Hillcrest, Holly Hill, and Heron Creek that will be attending Dauphin. And we have Pinedale and Rucker Boulevard that will be attending Coffeyville Junior High. The only exception to that is a small section around the current Coffeyville school, which is currently zoned, thank you, that little triangle right there, which is currently zoned for Holly Hill, but they will be able to attend the Coffeyville Junior High, the new school. So at the finalization of this proposed plan, obviously we were able to relocate College Street students. We were able to get some, basically contiguous zone lines. We did improve the building utilization so that we don't have some buildings that are completely full and other buildings that are very empty. We did improve the socioeconomic status across the district, the balance. We did develop our feeder patterns, and we feel like we've reduced the length of the transportation time.